Good afternoon. Time now for the midday news on Camnet TV. We look at the headlines. Opposition Economic Front President WYNTER KABIMBA themes 2023 a bad economic year. Political players challenged to provide solutions on the electricity crisis. 4 army worms ravaged CHIBOMBO district maize fields amid looming poor harvest. In our international headlines, Spain investigates whether Equatorial Guinea officials tortured opponents. And in sports, ZAFCA launches membership drive. We have the details shortly.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chol. We're from Cho's Fitness Gym. We're a fully functional gym located along Twin Palm Road in Kablonga, right by Cheshire Homes Society of Zambia. So we have various classes that happen from Monday to Friday. We have aerobics, we have boot camp, we have step aerobics, we have spinning, we have kettlebell classes. They happen from 18 to 19 hours every day, and we are open from 06 until 20 hours. That's Monday to Friday. Then Saturdays 6 to 12, and then Sundays we are closed. And most public holidays we are open 6 to 12.
Have you been facing perpetual failure, stagnation, spiritual, psychological, mental, marital, and financial challenges in your life and family? Do you experience generational cases or strange attacks in your life? Come and attend the first 2023 Breakthrough Overnight Prayer Meeting and learn about the battle that has been raging against your spirit, soul, and body. 2023 has been declared as the year of divine connection and elevation. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International or Camnet Television Headquarters. Date, 6th January 2023. Time, 20 hours to 05 hours. Speakers, Evangelist Jomas.
We are protected because God wants to see each one of us.
Bishop Tanda Peter Mlenga, Christian Word Center International, Bishop Chisenga, Hope of Glory, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
This is your year. I said this is your year. Witches or no witches, you are going higher.
Amen.
Whether people don't want you to be promoted, you will go far. I said you will go far.
Note, the year has just begun. Come and be part of this great night and make a difference in your life, family, and business. Get tired of going in circles. Invite your relatives and friends. See you there.
To present the midday news, my name is Louisiana Lupumbwe, and other news in detail. The state has withdrawn 1 count among the 3 charges in a case in which former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor, Kaiza Zulu, is accused of failing to surrender his diplomatic passport without reasonable excuse. The state has withdrawn the charge where it alleged that Mr. Zulu forcefully represented himself between 8th and 28th of August 2022 of being employed in the public service as a diplomat and using a diplomatic passport. In this case, Mr. Zulu is alleged on the 9th of December 2022 failed to appear before the nearest immigration officer at a port of entry, among other charges. More in this report.
Former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor Kaiza Zulu appeared before the Lusaka's subordinate court Thursday morning on another criminal charge of failing to appear before a nearest immigration officer. The state in this case had slapped Mr. Zulu with 3 counts, among them in the first count of failing to appear before the nearest immigration officer on the 9th of December 2022, in the second count of failing to surrender his diplomatic passport number D0012325 and D0012791 when required to do so by the Chief Passport and Citizenship Officer upon ceasing being a diplomat on the 20th of December 2019, and in the last count, falsely representing himself to be a person employed in the public service as a diplomat using a diplomat passport. However, when he appeared before Magistrate Silva Munyinya this morning, the state informed the court that it had intention to withdraw the last charge in line with Section 88, making the 2 criminal charges that he is facing before this court only 2. The state has since dropped the charge in which it accused Mr. Zulu of falsely representing himself to be a person employed in the public service as a diplomat using a diplomatic passport. Meanwhile, the first witness called by the prosecution team in this matter has testified that after conducting audit at passport office to check which passport had been retained and those not surrendered on the 2nd of October 2022, they discovered that the accused Mr. Zulu had not surrendered the diplomatic passport he was holding, where after he had ceased being an officer holder. Mulenga Kaliwele, an assistant registration officer at the Department of National Registration, Passport and Citizenship, has narrated that his office wrote to the accused a demand letter requesting that he surrender the said diplomatic passport. In his further testimony, the witness further told the court that the accused had denied being in possession of the 2 diplomatic passports. They were following up, adding that he had said he strongly believed that he had surrendered those passports. The matter stands adjourned. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Economic Front Party President WYNTER KABIMBA has predicted that 2023 will be a bad economic year for Zambia based on economic fundamentals that prevailed in 2022. Stakeholders have been raising concern over the poor performance of the Zambian kwacha, the monthly adjustments of the fuel prices, and how the increase in load management hours, which the EF leader saying this will lead to mass unemployment, especially in the informal sector. He adds that all these factors do not give hope for economic growth, accusing the United Party for National Development of letting the Zambian people down. We have details in this report.
Expectations from the governing United Party for National Development UPND are high in 2023, as this will mark the second full year of the UPND in office. The party was in 2022 stating that it was putting things in order and would be able to take full control of all sectors once the cleanup is done. Economic Front Party President WYNTER KABIMBA, however, projects that things will not improve in 2023 but only worsen due to the introduction of the 12 hours load shedding schedule, among other issues. He has accused the current administration of U-turning from its promises to the Zambian people.
But conservatively, a $25.8 billion broken down, I said to them, we cannot run an economy with load shedding. Malaiti ayenda, ufunopiga ayenda, mwana after study, malaiti ayenda, we will want to fix electricity so that we end load shedding in the shortest possible time after taking office. We got a pledge of $5.4 billion just to bring green energy to cut out load shedding.
Mr. KABIMBA has also predicted mass unemployment and slow economic growth due to load shedding.
We come from a background where load shedding in 2022 was something like 4 hours. We have now moved to a 12-hour load shedding. How can I be optimistic? I can only be pessimistic. So I have no projections for, I have no optimistic projections for 2023. This is a failed project by UPND. That's what it is.
The opposition leader has further called for the promotion of small-scale miners in Zambia through making it easy for them to access loans from banks, stating that their success will trickle down to mass employment.
And therefore, we need another line of banking, which is predominantly government-owned or government-supported, so that the small-scale business people can access monies. That's a third fundamental. Okay? So if you do it, that way, then we'll be able to find, a way of empowering everybody, of generating wealth, generating goods and services, and that is what is called an economy, in my little understanding of economics.
The EF president has challenged the UPND to live up to its promises adding that the status quo does not point towards positive economic growth. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Republican Progressive Party acting president Cassius Akapelo has challenged political players in the country to offer workable solutions to the problem of electricity load management of up to 12 hours. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Akapelo states that politicizing the matter will not help in finding solutions to the problem, which has negatively affected many electricity-dependent small and medium enterprises, hence the need to urgently brainstorm on solutions. The RPP acting president says the party, which is part of the ruling United Party for National Development Alliance, will continue offering alternatives on various national matters. He adds that some of the alternatives that can be explored is investing heavily in solar and wind energy to cut down over-dependence on hydroelectricity. Zambia's power utility announced a 12-hour load shedding effective 4th January 2023, attributing it to the depleting of water levels at the KABIMBA Dam, as well as the annual maintenance at Mamba Colliery's power station, which has seen a reduction of electricity generation by 150 megawatts.
To peddle this as a political animal, I think will be doing injustice to the Zambian people. As leaders, whenever there's a problem, the first thing that we have to start thinking of is solutions. And what are the solutions in this regard? We are saying, as government, my appeal to the executive is we quickly run through to what immediate solutions we can offer to the young entrepreneurs that are literally affected in this sector. If we don't, then we're going to have an economic crisis because the young people will be affected. Those that are in business will literally be affected. So I think solar energy is an immediate solution. If at all the government could quickly come in and waiver all the materials that are related to solar power, I think that would be an immediate solution so that we cushion to the power deficit. Other than that, the economic situation for our entrepreneurs is going to be a disaster. So I'm appealing to the executive of the UPND government to quickly arrive at an immediate solution so that we cushion to this problem that is before us. And I want to also advise our political players. This should not be treated as a political benefit, or rather political sympathy from the Zambian people.
Chibombo district has recorded a crop damage due to fall armyworm infestation. Central Province Principal Agriculture Officer Julius Malipa has confirmed the development to National Agriculture Information Services NAIS during crop monitoring in Chibombo district. Mr. Malipa has described the 60% maize crop damage as worrisome. More in the following report.
Fall armyworms can cause damage to host plant species such as maize. In Chibombo district of Central Province, for example, the maize fields are becoming a sorry sight due to ravaging of fall armyworms. Central Province Principal Agricultural Officer is concerned with this devastating situation.
We are in Chibombo district here at a farmer's field. What we have seen here is very, very terrible because we have seen the damage in just this field, which is Tulima. The damage is more than 50% of armyworm. As you have seen, the plant I've held, all these that the crops officer for Chibombo district is holding are just from one plant, meaning that the damage, the yield will be affected already by more than 50%. And because of this, institutions should come in very, very urgently to bring the chemicals so that we spray and destroy these armyworms, which are really so destructive. This is the fourth field we have seen in Chibombo, and the destruction is continuously worse.
Chibombo District Crop Husbandry Officer has called on government to quickly procure chemicals in an effort to curtail the infestation of fall armyworms and ultimately maize crop damage.
The damage the fall armyworm has caused in Chibombo is quite worrying. I think we need help in terms of chemicals so that the farmers are sustained. So far, all the farmers in the 20 camps have reported effect and damage for armyworm.
One of the affected farmers has appealed to government to intervene in the matter.
Ine apa tili munda mwanga ni dandaula kukuliwa government tudoyo tunatingenera milisi so tipempa ko tandizo kuboma kuti titandizeko mankhwala ya mtudoyo milisi zaonongeka.
As you can see for yourselves, these are 4 armyworms that we have just handpicked in the field of a farmer. These are causing serious damage to most of the fields here in Chibombo. Helen Witty reporting from Chibombo, Central Province.
In international news, Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoro Ngowema Obiang Mangui is also the son of President, has accused the country's former colonial power Spain of interference. The allegation comes after Spain's judiciary opened an investigation into the kidnapping and torture of 2 Spanish nationals, Feliciano Efa Mangui and Julio Obama Mefman, in the West African state's capital, Malabo. And both were opponents of President Teodoro Obiang Ngowema Mbasogo's regime. He is now 80 years old and has been in power since 1978, which makes him the longest-serving president in Africa. Here's a roundup of international news.
Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoro Obiang Mangui has accused Spain of interference after Madrid opened a probe into top officials for the alleged kidnapping and torture of 2 Spanish nationals. In 2019, 4 opposition members, including 2 with Spanish citizenship, went missing while in South Sudan and were flown to Equatorial Guinea aboard a presidential plane, according to the Spanish daily El País. A Spanish court is investigating 3 people close to Equatorial Guinea's President Teodoro Obiang Mbasogo over the treatment of the 2 Spanish citizens. The vice president, the son of Obiang, who is the world's longest-serving president, wrote on Twitter late Tuesday that former colonial power Spain was seeking to tarnish the country's reputation. The Spanish High Court is investigating one of Obiang's sons, Carmelo Vuno Obiang, his security director, Isaac Ngema Endo, and security minister, Nicolas Obama Nchama, according to the judicial source.
Ndiogudje and his comrade Demba Sao are some of the last survivors of France's colonial-era African infantry, a force that fought in 2 world wars. After years of neglect, the troops are the subject of a blockbuster movie Tirailleur. But the men say they've been forgotten by the country they fought for. France is very dishonest because no one forced it to enlist us. They enlisted us without asking for our opinion or anything. Every year we receive this salary. Now it's been 2 years without anything. France is not honest. After World War I broke out, France recruited across its West African colonies to transform the Tirailleur into a force designed to hammer the Germans on the Western Front. They took part in several key battles, notably holding the line at a crucial moment in Verdun in 1916. Now they are old, tired and frustrated. With everything we have done with these gentlemen, the French, we deserve more. But life is like that. In any case, we still have bad feelings towards France. The veterans are not happy. Some 30,000 of the 134,000 Tirailleurs who fought in World War I were killed, according to the specialist French magazine Historia. Survivors were often crippled or scarred by trauma, yet their names never featured on local war memorials in France. During the First World War, which the French called the Great War, the riflemen were mobilized by telling them that by shedding the same blood, you will win the same rights, you will become citizens, you will have advantages, and after the war, that wasn't the case. And there are some Great War riflemen who didn't even have a pension. The movie Tirailleur pays tribute to the bravery of the men conscripted to fight a war they had little idea about.
Time now for sports news. The Zambia Football Coaches Association President Dan Kawe launched the 2023 membership drive at Football House in Lusaka. Kawe says the membership drive will enhance the coaching fraternity. He says the members will have to pay subscription, which will help meet the management cost of the organization. The association will help in organizing courses in specific areas that will enhance the development of football in the fraternity. He says the resources realized from the subscription will allow the association to bring both local and international expatriates trainers. He has urged all the members to be professional and pay a fee pegged at 300 kwacha. Meanwhile, FAR's Deputy General Secretary Joseph Chibombo says the event marks the milestone in the development of sports.
Expectedly, the pronouncement generated widespread debate from football stakeholders, which is healthy. I think it needs to be taken as part of feedback, ZAFCA. As far as we are happy that we were on the ground to fully appreciate the direction ZAFCA was taking. While we appreciate that it's a ZAFCA matter, we would urge the membership to support this progressive idea. It is going to be an important step towards professionalizing our coaching setup. Part of our efforts in professionalizing our coaching environment has pushed us to open a coaching school through an MOU which we signed with the Croatian FA.
In specific areas like developing defenders, developing midfielders, improving attacking, those are some of the courses that will be held internally from ZAFCA. And with the resources available to us through membership, I think we'll be able to bring in experts within and outside the borders. So with all this, we are just encouraging our coaches, as we speak, to be disciplined and to be exemplary in their dealings. And without an association, I think we've lost it. Now we're bringing everybody on board. Everybody has to be monitored in whatever they are doing, in their discipline, in their progress in education. It has to be done through association. So we need to have one entry so that we give enough feedback to the technical department.
And that is all the news that we had for you this afternoon. But before we go, let's look at the headlines once again. Opposition Economic Front President WYNTER KABIMBA themes 2023 a bad economic year. Political players challenge to provide solutions on the electricity crisis. 4 army worms ravage CHIBOMBO district maize fields amid looming poor harvest. In our international headlines, Spain investigates whether Equatorial Guinea officials tortured opponents. ZAFCA launches membership drive. And that's all the news that we could accommodate at this hour. Thank you so much for watching. Pleasant viewing.